To the third and final hour here of the War Room today. I've got a bunch of news I'm not sure I'll get to because I got a bunch of clips I want to get to. But here's what we're going to do. Because President Trump delivered a great State of the Union last night, and the response to this from the Democrats and the left and the Trump haters was really revealing. Now, Drudge Report summarizes it quite eloquently with his headlines. Guys, I don't know if this is still the Drudge Report, so if you want to do a screenshot or go to the Drudge Report, I don't really care. But this is where the Drudge Report was at about 2 o'clock when I sat down at the desk today. Pelosi frowns at call for working together. Gutierrez, triggered by USA chants, flees House chamber. Black Democrats stone-faced reaction to news of low black unemployment. Melania, CNN claims Melania wears white to protest her husband. ABC News calls it divisive, gloomy, sad. MSNBC triggered by the word family. Washington Post changes newspaper headline over liberal backlash. It goes on and on and on. Trump says we 129 times, unlike Obama, who said me and I almost every sentence. The ACLU complains Trump used word America more than 80 times. Oh, I guess he should have been like Obama and said me and I more than 80 times. And then you have Bernie Sanders giving his response, and the socialist communist broadcast breaks down, just like socialism and communism does every time. And then, of course, the main story was that according to a CBS poll, 75% of those that watched the speech, according to that poll, approved of it. And it was perhaps, I haven't seen the numbers yet, I haven't looked into this yet, but I would guess that was probably the most watched State of the Union in the history of the United States. Again, I don't have the numbers on that, but that would be my bet. Now, this is how Wolf Blitzer, guys, clip 6, Wolf Blitzer tries to dismiss the fact that people are approving of that powerful speech last night.
Welcome back. We're now getting the first results of our instant poll of people who actually watched the president's speech. David,
and this is a CNN poll,
here.
So it's a fake poll.
And give us the explanation that this is not necessarily a national poll.
Well, it's not. It's not representative of the country overall. It is a poll of people
who watch your brainwashed audience.
A State of the Union address, fans of the person giving it. So it is definitely an audience that skews a little bit.
Pause it right there. Actually, we've got an amazing video of a bunch of liberals that got together for a watch party to watch the speech. You won't believe what happened in that. We'll have that video later. Go back to CNN.
Than Democrats. In the Obama years, it was the reverse. Here's what we found out. 48% of those who watched the speech tonight had a very positive reaction to the speech. 22% somewhat positive, 29% negative. Last year when the president gave a speech, that 48% was 57%. So he did a little worse this year than
according
last year,
to
but still obviously
your poll.
Very positive reaction from watchers. How about will his policies move the country in the right direction or the wrong direction? 62% of speech watchers tonight say that Donald Trump's policies, as laid out tonight, will move the country in the right direction.
That's got to hurt. Even CNN polls now are reflecting positively on President Trump. Ouch, CNN, that has to hurt.
But let's go to Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper says Trump doesn't understand how offensive his speech is. Go ahead and roll Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper, clip 5, Jake Tapper.
What you saw tonight was President Trump, I think, and with one hand reaching out his hand to Democrats, and with the other hand holding up a fist. And this is almost the conundrum of Donald Trump. In addition to more traditional Republican positions, such as tax cuts, talking about strong borders, etc., there is in his Trump republicanism, nationalism, populism, whatever you want to call it, room for Democrats to work with him. He talked about changing trade deals. He talked about lowering the cost of prescription drugs, spending money on infrastructure, paid family leave, prison reform, the path to
citizenship. All sounds great.
There is that there.
Yeah, this is all great.
I think President Trump doesn't quite necessarily understand just how offensive many Democrats in that chamber are going to find some of the things he proposed.
Oh, okay, so pause it right there. So because you've got a bunch of partisan babies in Arrested Development that hate America, and are so clouded with rage and denial over the results of the last election, President Trump has to curtail everything he says to these people. That's what Jake Tapper wants.
In terms of there are Americans who are dreamers too, et cetera. Some of the
how dare he say that?
Immigration.
Yeah.
Turn off a lot of people in that chamber.
Well, I want to echo something that Jake said, because on the one hand, the speech
all right, pull him down. That's enough of that one. So he just admitted it. He goes, saying Americans are dreamers too offends the Democrats in the chamber. Why? 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 Why does that offend them? Why do they put non-citizens over Americans? Why? 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 Well, we know the answer. They can't win with American votes. They can't win with legal voting. So when Americans won't vote for them, they import desperate people who need government welfare to come to this country and to vote for the Democrats. That speech was so brilliant from President Trump. He has trolled the liberal media and the Democrats to exposing who they really are again. President Trump says America first, they sit. President Trump touts the lowest recorded numbers ever of black unemployment, they pout. Trump says Americans are dreamers too. Jake Tapper admits that's offensive to Democrats. Wow. Now, again, CNN proven completely wrong. We played the clip a second ago. The CNN guy, well, you have to keep in mind that the only people that are watching the State of the Union are the people that actually like Trump. No, wrong again. Here's a video of a liberal watch party literally throwing things at the television as they watch the State of the Union. All right, so we don't have the audio. Oh! So here they are. Oh, my gosh. I actually haven't seen this. They're throwing shoes. They're throwing drinks. Look at this. Oh, my. Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. This is real. They're booing. They're hissing. They're throwing shoes at the TV. They're doing damage to whatever property, whosever property that is. They're destroying that property. There's all the shoes they threw. Look at that maniac. But let's get back to the media responding. Let's go to clip 8. And this is Luis Gutierrez fleeing the scene when the Republicans in the chamber start chanting USA.
This Capitol, this living monument, this is the monument to the American people.
Republicans stand. They start chanting USA. And whoop, there goes. There goes Luis. Bye, Luis Gutierrez, you anti-American scum. They can't even stand and chant USA, folks. Doesn't that just tell you everything you need to know about these people? You think they have your best interests in mind, huh? Are you an American citizen? They don't.
Came home. These two precious girls were brutally murdered while walking together in their hometown. 6 members of the savage MS-13 gang have been charged with Kayla and Nisa's murders. Many of these gang members took advantage of glaring loopholes in our laws to enter the country as illegal, unaccompanied, alien minors.
So there's President Trump after the Democrats boo him talking about non-citizens coming here and murdering people and bringing drugs in. The Democrats booed President Trump bringing that up because those are the Democrat constituents. Then he mentions how MS-13 gang members murdered 2 innocent American children. And then we go to Joy Reid, who doesn't realize how honest she actually was with this clip.
Defining issue of the Trump administration thus far is how he got into office. It consumes Donald Trump's time. It is an obsession, if you believe all of the reporting in the Michael Wolff book, and even not beyond the Michael Wolff book. He spends his time complaining about the prosecutors who are investigating Russian interference, conspiring to fire them, thinking about them, obsessing about them, and then he gives a speech.
Everything she just said is fake.
Makes it sound like the biggest issue in the United States, the biggest threat is MS-13, a gang nobody anybody that doesn't watch Fox News has ever heard of. So it makes it sound like they're the biggest threat.
Why does he do it?
Because he...
Pause it right there. That's it. Bring it down. That's all you needed to hear. She just admitted it. You just heard it from Joy Reid. If you watch MSNBC, you don't know who MS-13 is because we don't tell you. See, here at MSNBC, we keep our audience in the dark. Here at MSNBC, we keep our audience misinformed, uninformed, deceived, and confused. Just look at Rachel Maddow. She's very confused herself. Look at Joe Scarborough, Psycho Joe in the morning. We got a clip of him. These people are totally off their rocker. So, I mean, she doesn't realize how honest she is. So there you go. You just heard it from MSNBC's own mouth. They keep you misinformed. They keep you uninformed. And she thinks she's doing herself some favors. She's like, nobody's heard of MS-13 unless they watch Fox News. Oh, you just admitted Fox News is better than you. You just admitted Fox News keeps their audience informed and MSNBC does not. So the new trend, the new hashtag, we already had CNN as ISIS. Now MSNBC is MS-13. MSNBC is MS-13. MSNBC is MS-13, and Joy Reid admits she makes sure her audience is uninformed. Now, let's go to Van Jones lying to you more about President Trump.
Platform the American people tonight. I don't think he did enough to use the leverage.
So, let me just say, master salesperson, he used all of those stories really well. He was selling.
Use the stories. Pause it right there.
Candy.
He takes real American heroes. He takes real victims. He takes real Americans. He takes real stories. He humanizes the issues. And then Van Jones says he's using these people. See, it's just like all the people I saw on Twitter saying, oh, yeah, how dare Trump bring up these token black people? How dare Trump bring up these token women? You know how insulting that is? Do you not think that those people can think for themselves? Do you not think for 1 second that those people can consciously decide for themselves, I want to be part of this revolution. I want to be part of the Trump team. I want to be part of making America great again. I want to be part of awakening America. No, these people are so obsessed with being authoritarian control freaks that they say, how dare President Trump bring up a token black person? A token black person. How about an individual who chooses for themselves to go be at that event? That's what it was. But it's sad because they can never admit that because they think they're in control of every minority and every identity out there. No, you're not. There's only one identity that we care about now, and that's being an American citizen and a human and taking you down with your fake news, anti-American rhetoric. Van Jones, finish the clip.
With poison in it. What he said about those young people, he implied, and he did it deliberately, that dreamers are gang members. And when you look at the numbers,
no, he didn't.
Facts matter. Facts matter.
No, he didn't.
That some dreamers are gang members.
No,
Boom, exactly. And that's right. You've had DACA recipients murder people. You've had DACA recipients rape people. And even though that's not what Trump said in his speech, Van Jones knows it's true. And so then he says it and acts like it's not true. The spin that these people, I mean, oh my gosh, I don't know how these people sleep at night. I don't sleep at night because, like QAnon says, those who know can't sleep. Oh, man, I'm getting fired up now. Okay, let's now go to Frank Lutz on with Psycho Joe and Crazy Mika. Frank Lutz, who is not a Trump supporter and is actually very anti-Trump, but at least he's a realist. Check out this clip. Clip 15.
Right. So, Frank, you have been critical of the president and certainly the language that he's used over the past couple of months. You mentioned that last night in a tweet, but it's also the case. I've followed you and you've been critical at times. But you said last night you had one word for the speech and it was wow. Tell us.
Come on, Frank.
I'm not expecting it. Tell us why. We are just as shocked
Tell us, Frank,
as you were at the president's speech. Wow.
I had a chance to be in the hall and I chose not to. Because I was not optimistic. And I tend to come from that side of the political aisle, but I've been very frustrated about the language. And I listened word for word to what he said yesterday, and I am shocked, even here, at how negative the response is. The first criticism is that he read from a teleprompter. Well, what president hasn't read from a teleprompter?
And pause it right there. Trump used to give hour-long speeches on his campaign where where he didn't even care about the teleprompter. The teleprompter would break and he'd be like, good, shut it down. In fact, there was one time he took the teleprompters out himself. Go back.
You said response here. We weren't critical of him reading from the teleprompter.
No, the response.
Look, we're reading
that you're getting on Twitter.
Blanked. Well, we don't listen to Twitter. So anyway.
Okay. Second is that he offered an agreement on immigration that is actually achievable.
Right.
And I'm wondering whether the Democrats will now come forward and make the agreement.
Nope. And they already rejected it.
He gave specifics about the economy and how it's changed over the last 12 months, specific numbers. And the Democrats did not applaud the fact that we have better employment numbers, that people have higher wages, that companies are investing in the country.
Just facts.
Taking credit for all of that. And I think they found that insulting since he can't for much of it.
And Barack Obama does deserve credit. But why is it that everything he says drives the left nuts?
And that's key. That's the truth of it. The left is so deranged right now. Anything Trump does or says drives them crazy, even if he cured cancer and taught us all how to fly using our mind. But notice what they do. I'm telling you, they're trying to revive Obama right now. Well, this is Obama's economy. Obama deserves credit. Really? Guys, let's go to clip 17. Does Obama really deserve credit?
Because some of those jobs of the past are just not going to come back. And when somebody says...
Really?
Like the person you just mentioned, who I'm not going to advertise for.
Donald Trump.
That he's going to bring all these jobs back. Well, how exactly are you going to do that? What are you going to do? There's no answer to it. He just says, well, I'm going to negotiate a better deal. Well, how exactly are you going to negotiate that? What magic wand do you have? And usually the answer is he doesn't have an answer.
So you have all of these people with Trump's accomplishments in the economy, the jobs growth, the manufacturing back, the wage growth, the bonuses, the manufacturing coming back, the repatriation of all these funds, the stock market records.
The PR moves. Yes, the PR moves.
But what are they saying? They're saying that this was Obama's fault. They're giving Obama credit for this. But wait a second. It was Barack Obama that didn't believe any of this was possible.
You're going to wave a magic wand?
Exactly. It was Barack Obama that said, what does Trump have, a magic wand? So how are you giving Barack Obama credit for Trump's accomplishments when Barack Obama didn't even think it was possible? So just remember that before you want to credit Obama with the great economy that we've seen in the last year. Just remember that Obama didn't even think it was possible and thought it took a magic wand. So no, this is not Obama's economy. You're wrong again.
How exactly are you going to negotiate that? What magic wand do you have? And usually the answer is he doesn't have an answer.